Transitioning from a single unit franchisee into a multi-unit franchisee organization requires a significant amount of preparation, skills, and abilities. I'm going to share in this show a few of the things that you need to do to prepare yourself to be able to affront this new endeavor in a way that sets you up for success. If you go through each of the things that I mentioned with you today, and you do and take the steps to prepare yourself in each of these areas, this means that you are going to be able to more than likely become a very successful multi-unit franchisee. So let's get started with the first thing that you need to do to prepare yourself to become a multi-unit franchisee. And let me give you the caveat that this applies whether you are a single unit franchisee or maybe you're already a franchisee that has 2 to 3 or 4 units and obviously having challenges managing that organization, because if you have not taken these steps to prepare for it and still grown, obviously the way in which you are leading now your life and your organization must be challenging for you. So take a step back, hear these things that I'm going to share with you and see if many one of these or more of these elements are the ones that are missing, and take the time to develop yourself in your organization on each and every one of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the first thing that you should do as a franchisee to prepare yourself to become a multi-unit franchisee. And that is to have financial stability. This means that before you go into going into a multi-unit organization, you need to have enough capital reserves and a strong financial track record on the 1 unit or 2 or 3 that you have, to make sure that if you're going to be expanding your organization, you're not going to be expanding financial challenges, but expanding profitability. Now, the type of things that you can do is, strengthen your financial position. Look at your current profitability by unit and learn and change the results so that you can maximize the profitability in each of the units that you have right now. If you become an expert at improving your revenue, your cost of goods, your labor costs in a way that you're maximizing profitability in your existing unit or units, then you're going to be prepared, financially speaking, to grow profitably in the units that you're going to continue to grow with. Now, if you have debts, it would be very important that you actually reduce that debt, because if you're going to go into expansion and expanding with that, your debts, the more that you are able to minimize that, the better it will be. So obviously looking into external financing or maybe refinancing whatever debt you have with more favorable interest rates will probably be a great step for you to grow successfully, financially speaking. All right, so let's speak about number 2, the second thing that you should do to prepare yourself to become a successful multi-unit franchisee. And that will be operational excellence. What does that mean? That means that you have a proven brand, right? A franchise that has great product, service, image. And the franchisor will provide you with those operational systems, processes, and procedures. But you also need to define your business systems, processes, and procedures. You need to define them, document them, train them, so you can delegate them to the unit. Even if you only have 1 unit right now, if you are able to define your own business management systems and then delegate them to your team, that delegation to the 1 unit or 2 or 3 will give you, or will be a practice for you to eventually delegate to the 5, 6, 10, 20, 50 units you'll have in the future. But to be able to get there, you need to be able to delegate to the 1 or 2 or 3 units you have right now before you can expand, those challenges. So make sure that you have solid processes and procedures being followed from the brand, and solid processes and procedures that you have created for your business management systems. If you have that, you'll do an amazing job. All right, so let's go to the next thing that you need to do to prepare yourself as a business owner to be able to successfully grow into a multi-unit. And that has to do for you personally developing great leadership skills. You need to have the ability to lead and manage and inspire a larger and larger team. It is not the same thing to manage 1 or 2 units when everybody knows you, you spend a lot of time with them, and you build a relationship. As you're growing, the ability to build that relationship gets reduced because you don't spend as much time with them. Being able to hone in your leadership skills and getting better at it will allow you to then, again, lead, manage, and inspire a larger and larger team. But you got to develop your skills to be able to do that. Now, the kind of things that you can do for that is, read books, reach out to coaching. Maybe there's some mentorship on experienced leaders that you admire that can help you improve those skills for you so that you can, lead a larger and larger organization. The next thing that you need to prepare yourself with before you go into a multi-unit organization is having a strategic vision of where you're going. Like, what is a long-term plan? What is your clear growth plan and your long-term vision of where you want to be? Because if you have that, then you can keep that in mind as you're going through the ups and downs of the journey before you get there. Having that would allow you to be able to focus on that long-term plan as you're going through, the day-to-day decisions and challenges of the organization. Now, if you don't have these skills, if you don't have this long-term plan or vision, my suggestion is that you sit down and create a very solid business plan with specific goals and metrics of what you need to overcome to get there, all the steps along the way, and what is the ultimate vision of your organization? Where do you want to be? Spend the time to do that, because once you have a clear end in mind, that will allow you to make the right decisions along the way. Strategic vision is very important for successful growing multi-unit franchisees. The next thing that you need to be able to develop, a skill within yourself is time management. When you have 1 or 2 units, more than likely you're doing a lot of the work, and, it's easy to kind of do simply because you're the one doing it. But even with 1 or 2 units, time management could be a challenge. So imagine as you're growing the number of units that you have to really learn how to prioritize and how to delegate responsibility to other leaders in your organization, because you cannot do it all. And even if you, at this point, when you're small, are doing it all, it's still not right, because you need to be able to manage your time in a way that you can delegate responsibilities and you can actually still have, time to do the important things in your organization. If you're not there, if you're doing it all and you currently don't have good time management skills, let me recommend that you learn how to prioritize your tasks. Do you understand between what's important and what's urgent? Really learn the art of delegation to your team. It's going to be very important for you as you're growing your organization. And you might want to consider promoting one of your manager into a potential district manager so that they can oversee the units as you continue to grow in there. Having that delegation, or that person that you can delegate tasks, not only will allow you to delegate the task, but also allow you to practice the art of delegation. And as you're growing the units, that person can take over the operations for you while you are focusing on growth and strategy. Very important to understand or to learn time management skills as well as delegating skills, because that's going to give you the freedom to be able to focus on the things that you have to as a growing multi-unit franchisee. Now, let's go to the next thing that you need to become good at and understanding, and that is industry knowledge. As a growing multi-unit franchisee, your knowledge of the industry and not only the franchise industry, but also what's happening in the marketplace, politically, economically, being aware of all that information is going to be important, because as you're growing your enterprise, your business is going to be affected by external factors. So you definitely need to be able to have the information, be engaged, and know what's happening. Now, if you're not there at this point, one of the things that you can do is continuing learning through seminars, through workshops, through industry events, conferences, not just your franchise brand conference, but other conferences that can give you the insights outside of your brand of what's happening in the industry and the economy. This will help you make better decisions as you grow and become a multi-unit franchisee. The next skill that you need to have, or things that you need to do to prepare yourself to become a successful franchisee, is adaptability. It's going to be very critical that as a franchisee, business owner, that you are flexible, that you know that when things happen, we got to flex, we got to move, and we got to be able to know that while we might have a plan and we have routines and we have certain things put in place, that being flexible and accepting flexibility and embracing it and being okay with it is going to be critical, because in business, things change all the time. So being flexible and not too rigid and stressed about it, but just being flexible and taking change with open arms and joy, I think it's going to be very important for you to not only be successful, but to really truly enjoy the journey of being a franchisee. Now, one of the things that you can do if you're not quite there yet is just practice a lot of troubleshooting. Look at things, different problems, and try to find different solutions for them, and then just pick one. But know that there could be several solutions for something. And when things have to be changed, just take the moment, and if for some reason you feel stressed or angry or upset about it, take the time to really analyze that and know that sometimes there's nothing we can do about it, but all we need to do is flex and things will be okay. So definitely adaptability of being a flexible leader is going to go a long way, especially as you're growing. More and more unexpected things happen that you got to adapt for, right? So consider that something that you do got to work on before you become a multi-unit franchisee, so that you can have success and fun along the way. So the next thing that you need to also prepare prepare yourself for or develop yourself on is risk management. Obviously, as you are growing, there's going to be more risks that you're going to be taking. Just the fact that you're growing is already, a significant risk. Being able to have the ability to assess risk and manage the risks and accept those risks, and if something happens, know what to do or have a plan B or C if something doesn't work out well, it's going to be something that's going to be very good for you to know and have developed within you as a franchisee. Sometimes as we're growing, not all the units are going to become winners. I mean, unless you're the exception. But I know most of the franchisees that I know that are multi-unit, they have 1 or 2 dog units, right? And that's a risk that you do, or that's a risk that you take when you are opening multiple units. It's okay, because then that's the whole point of growing, is that you're going to have other units that would allow you to, mitigate that risk. But still, you need to be able to understand how to take the risk, how to analyze the risk, and do the right things. Now, some of the things that you can do to help you prepare for that are, why not find a business advisor, someone that can, you can bounce ideas off, somebody that understands the different areas of risk, from financial to locations, etc., with whom you can actually bounce ideas and have conversations to help you be okay with taking those risks and help you mitigate them. And if those risks or bad possibilities come true, that will help you address them and take care of them and move on. So definitely risk management is going to be a big one for large multi-unit franchisees. All right, so let's go to another one, and that's networking. Having strong relationships with other franchisees, with other industry leaders, and especially with your franchisor, is going to be very important as a multi-unit franchisee. The more and more you grow in your franchise brand, the more that you're going to become a bigger and bigger player in that brand. And so having a positive relationship with the franchisor will allow you to not only have maybe influence in the franchise decisions, but also being able to be in the know, to be ahead of the game, and potentially have better and better support from them. And that will really help you and come in handy as you're growing this huge organization. Now, one of the things that you can do to prepare yourself for that is always make sure that you go to the franchisor conferences, that you build relationships with your area franchisees, that you have a great relationship with your franchise business consultant, so that you can actually have those relationships to go to if anything happens. Having a great network and a great relationship with the people around you is going to help you be successful as a multi-unit franchisee. All right, something else that can help you to become a multi-unit franchisee is knowing and confirming that you have a strong commitment to the brand that you're going to grow in. One of the things that I always say, that what brand you choose is going to be critical, not because it's a brand that makes money, but it's a brand that you enjoy, and that you're willing to be committed to ensure that you're going to follow the brand systems that they are proven to be successful. If you have a strong commitment to the brand, you will be able to successfully duplicate that brand. So really make sure that that's the case. Now, if you're not there yet, you need to really reassess the alignment that you have, not only with the brand, but with the values of the leadership in that brand, so that when you are growing, you're growing in a brand that you truly are committed to and believe in, so that as you're growing, you're going to be able to be more successful. A lot of this growing success has to do with how much you actually embrace and actually are in alignment with the brand that you're doing. Because if you're not quite in alignment with the brand, or you don't quite exactly love the brand, you're going to have challenges along the way, because things will become harder if that's the case. So before you start exploding a brand or becoming a multi-unit franchisee in a brand, make sure that you're in alignment and you're fully committed to the brand to do well and grow it the way it needs to, so that you can achieve your goal of a multi-unit franchise organization. Now, you cannot forget also your personal side. You need to have the skill of balance. And what I mean by that, you need to be able to have a balanced approach to work and life without burning out, because that's the challenge. As entrepreneurs, we tend to work many hours. I know I sure do. And one of the things that we need to learn to do is how to balance work with our personal life, so that we do not burn out in the long term, because burnout will then result in poor performance in your business, which then makes things all the more worse. So put systems in place in your day-to-day work that promote your health and the wellness of yourself around your business. It should not all be about business. You really need to take care of yourself, because the better that you are, the better that you are going to be able to lead your organization to success. And with that, the last recommendation that I have is that you need to make sure that you have family support. Sometimes franchisees go into this endeavor of growing into a multi-unit organization without really understanding the toll that this is going to take in the family. And so having a solid backing from the family, your spouse, your children, whoever is around in your personal life, is going to be very important. having everybody understand the demands that it's going to take from you, especially at the beginning. In the first few units, before you're actually able to delegate much of the operations, it's going to take a lot from you and therefore a lot from your family. It is important that your family understands that you actually share this information. And if they're already there, amazing. If they're not there, then my recommendation is that you have open discussions with them. Share with them what are the implications of you becoming a multi-unit franchisee. What are going to be the time challenges, and ensure that they're all on board and consider the concerns and the suggestions. Maybe they can, you can have some sort of negotiation of certain things that they would like for you to do with them or for them along the way, so that they can also have you as part of their family and not disappear on them because you have so much focus on the business. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you have a successful business if you don't have a family around. And so being able to ensure that you have that family support and that you don't lose that connection with them and that you're still enjoying that part of your life, which is so important, is going to be critical for your long-term success as a multi-unit franchisee. So I hope that all of these ideas and criteria and preparation and skills that you need to have help you to think through where you are, where are you strong at, where are you missing, skills or abilities to do, so that you can then maybe make a great plan so that you can transition from being a single unit franchisee into a multi-unit franchisee with ease, with confidence, and with joy, so that you can have the best possibility for success. If any of these things, like I mentioned, you are missing, I strongly suggest look for support, look for programs, look for coaches, look for mentors that can help you acquire these skills before you grow, so that as you're growing, you are able to do it with ease and fun. Of course, I couldn't end the conversation without saying that the American Franchise Academy is one of those sources that can help you achieve these skills, these abilities to be able to get there faster. So if you'd like to learn more about our programs for franchisees, for district managers, and for single unit franchisees or unit managers, all you need to do is visit our website at AmericanFranchiseAcademy.com and go to our programs and learn how we can help you achieve your dream of business ownership through franchising and multi-unit growth. Thank you for this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.